Now, from the Action 4 studios, Sports Director Clay Williams and Joe Bowling bring you the best in Valley High School football from the week past and for the week ahead. Highlights, analysis, and predictions from all across the Valley. It's time for Sunday Sports Extra.
8 weeks down, 3 weeks to go in the Valley High School football regular season. Welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. I'm Action 4 Sports Director Clay Williams. With me, as always, Action 4 Sports Reporter Joe Bowling, and our special guest this week, Mike Gonzalez from the Mid-Valley town Crier. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thanks a lot, Clay, for having me.
Well, last night, I know, was a crazy game. Let's go ahead and talk about it. It was San Benito at Mission Veterans for the first place in District 32 6A. It was 14-9 at the end of the first quarter. Brownsville Veterans had already lost their starting quarterback, Marky Castillo, to a foot injury, and then everything went crazy. How about Gabriel Vasquez for 15 yards? Derek Rodriguez, 39 seconds later. How about 26 seconds later, Christian Sierra back to Vasquez? How about 20 seconds later, Carlos Garza gone for the Chargers for 48 yards? How about a fumble return by Jeremiah Myers? How about this was a crazy game? This is 3 minutes and 17 seconds, folks, of play. And in the end, yeah, the Hounds win it. 67-57 is the final. And afterwards, they talked about the crazy game.
He just keep telling him, man, he just keep pushing. He ain't gonna change the way he coaches the game. Just all of us just keep pushing and play as one team. San Benito is known to fight, and we never give up. So that's what we're gonna do, keep fighting.
We still have a lot of work to do. The season is, it's not over, and we may be 4-0, but we've set our goals early in the season. So back to work on Monday to fix our mistakes and get going.
So there you have it, folks. That game last night, the most points in Rio Grande Valley history in a regulation game, 67-57. That is, yeah, you'll notice that it ties an actual overtime playoff game for 124 points back when Port Isabel beat Altair Rice, but that was in 4 overtimes. 123 points. McAllen Rowe versus PSJ North did that in 2012. PSJA Memorial did that against Palmview, 65-58 in 2010. Joe, it doesn't get much crazier than that. That was a score fest.
No, a score fest, and it all kind of happened. They pushed the fast forward right at the start of that second quarter. That's what happened. It was 14-9, back and forth, nothing, no sign that was coming, and all of a sudden, boom, there it was.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible, but you have to wonder, San Benito now all alone in first place in that district at 4-0. They're playoff bound. They have to wonder about their defense at this point, don't they, Mike?
Well, you wonder that both teams actually, are they going to play defense? So, if you're going to go far in the playoffs, you got to play some kind of defense, whether it's to contain your opponent, whether it's to slow them down. You got to find a way to slow them down. And, you would hope for both teams' sake that the coaches will find a way to, make adjustments and say, hey, guys, okay, we won, or in Brownsville Veterans' case, we lost, but we got to correct some mistakes, and we can't let this happen if we intend to go deep in the playoffs or to win a district championship.
But, Joe, the good news for San Benito is they've got some time. They've got 3 weeks, and they're expected to win every single one of the rest of their games and go 7-0 in district. They can fine-tune before the playoffs.
Yeah, I talked about that during the game, our pregame, that they had already run through the gauntlet of the tough teams, the top teams, the playoff contenders, and now they can fine-tune it. But what you got to look at is there was huge holes right in the middle. It wasn't anything fancy. This was big holes, middle of the defensive line, so that is things you can work on. That is things you can shore up, fill some gaps, and close those down. And I was more impressed that San Benito finished off drives and scores. They had opportunities against Harlingen. We talked about that. So they adjusted in 1 week for that. Defense gets 3 weeks to get ready for the playoffs to stop whatever was going wrong last night.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Harlingen and Los Fresnos, they were in a pretty big 32-6A game of their own on Friday night, and the Falcons came up huge in the fourth quarter. The quarterback, Pierce Ruiz, had another great game for Los Fresnos. They outscored the Cardinals 14-3 down the stretch. The Los Fresnos defense comes up big, and now when you look at the 32-6A standings, you see that, there they are. Los Fresnos and Brownsville Veterans tied at 3-1, a game behind San Benito. Harlingen and Rivera now tied for that final spot in that playoff spot in that district. Of course, Harlingen has already beaten Rivera. Tell me, what are your thoughts, Mike, on Harlingen and where they're at right now? 2 straight losses in district, but it looks like they've got the edge on getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, every year is different. I mean, we're so used to Harlingen dominating everybody and going through the district and sweeping everybody, but every year is different. And, I'm sure there's fans out there like, thinking about 2011, what a ride that was. But you know, you got to adjust to what you have, and you know, I think the coaching staff will do that. I still think Harlingen will make the playoffs. I mean, without Harlingen in the playoffs, it'd just be a little weird for us in the Valley. But you know, they got some corrections to make, and I think they will. They've been in all these games, and you know, that can help you in the playoffs. You know, when you're in that situation, and you'll learn from it. And you know, they are a pretty young team. And you know, you just got to grow from it, basically.
Take a look at the two big games in this district coming up this week, as Brownsville veterans will be at Harlingen. You know, I said Harlingen had the edge, but this could be a third straight loss for the Cardinals with the way Brownsville veterans was able to score the ball last night, Joe.
Yeah, and what you look at and question most of all is that 2 weeks in a row, a Manny Gomez team is outplayed in the fourth quarter. Generally, they wear you down. They are the team that is beating up people in the fourth quarter. So that's the big worry spot, especially when you're going against a Brownsville veteran team that obviously can score points, obviously can get in a shootout, and worry if you're a Harlingen Cardinal fan this year.
Yeah, and Marky Castillo, we'll see whether he'll be healthy, but you know, Derek Rodriguez did pretty well as a quarterback for Brownsville veterans. They didn't have any trouble with their offense last night. We are coming right back on Sunday Sports Extra. Going to talk a little 32-6A and an historic season for the PSJA Southwest Javelinas as they get it done once again and look like they're headed to the playoffs. Plus, the big rivalry, even bigger than usual. Everybody talking after the game. We'll talk about it next.